Well, employee performance could be the biggest, challenge as of now in today's environment. And what I mean by that, when it comes to employee performance, the biggest that's the biggest challenge, across all the organization, across all the levels, when it comes to not taking it way ahead, or rather, I would say missing out on the, impact on the environmental aspects for that matter. Yeah. So whether it is a medium organized size organization, or whether it is a small or micro size organizations, at any given point of time, employee management is the toughest challenge, isn't it? So in this video, I will going to deep dive and share you all the clarity, and I'll give you a detailed insight, as the email has rightly pointed out, which has more to do with fortune without fear. So that's where this video comes a detailed clarity on that as well. Make sure you watch it till the end and take enough notes on that as well. And do reply to this email as well, because I would like to understand your way of looking into things and as perspectives. And how do you take out all these learnings from the video equally as well and apply that on your journey equally as well. So with that, just to share it as well. So yes, like I was mentioning, that employee performance or performance of an employee is the biggest crux or biggest challenge, which is like a fortune without fear. If you have the right set of employees, as a management, as a business owner, your 90% of your operational problems are solved. Okay, and your challenges are solved. What I mean by that, it is essentially to ensure that you have the right set of team in terms of uh, their their mission vision being aligned with the organization. And when it comes to their competencies, there are essentially three primary components which are extremely critical. When it comes to, I would say, when it comes to measuring or gauging their performance over a period of time. So take enough notes and see how best it resonates with your environment, how best you can add it to your environment, and take as a takeaway. And do share the learnings equally as well. Okay. Stay till the end, because there's a gift as well that would help you to take the journey ahead. So yes, like I was sharing, there are the three components, which are the knowledge of the employee, the skills of the employee, and the attitude or the behavior of the employee. Yeah. In most of the situation, to understand the knowledge gaps, that could be the easiest way of checking out and do that, because it all comes from the perspective of being into a fact that it's more to do with uh, those assessments and deep dive and stuff like that, which will help you to understand that where does your employee stand in terms of their knowledge and fitness for that matter. So when that is taken care of, the next things which comes in picture is definitely the skill and the attitude parts of it as well, and which is probably the most toughest part in any given environment for any nature of business for that matter. So what I mean by that, when it comes to skill level of an employee, or when it comes to the to understand that where does your employee stands in terms of the foundation, in terms of the experience with the organization, it is very critical that you gauge the employee for the first 6 months of his joining. Okay. And how do you do that? It is essentially very simple and natural process, which is all to do with repeated observation. Yes, you heard it right. It has all to do with repeated observation over a period of first 6 months, and keep on giving the employee feed forward, or more on a feedback, to ensure that the learning equally happens right and they move in the right direction. Why do I say that? Feedback is an essentially component, because it has been understood as an industry parameter that in most of the time, as a business owner, we fail to give feedback to our employees. We don't know how to communicate to our employees so that the acceptability is very high. Because think about it. I mean, if they don't accept your feedback, then obviously they will not going to implement that on the ground as well. So the buying has to happen with those, significant conversation. Yeah. So whenever you are visiting the ground, you're having some sort of check mark and his observation being understood. So always give those strong feedback to him. And then comes the attitude of an employee, which has more to do with the behavior of an employee for that matter. And I think this is possibly the toughest part for any business owner to ensure and to bring an impact difference in the environment with his or her employee for that matter. So the question comes back on the table: is it really possible to change the environment of an employee? Well, the answer is yes. It is possible to change the environment of an employee. I mean, to change the behavior of an employee. And how do you do that? It's again come back to very basics again. It is just to ensure that over a phase of 6 to 8 months, it has to be a very strong element of coaching conversation, those fine-tuning conversation in repeated gaps and nuggets and in repeated situations and periods wherever you found it better, just to ensure that yes, you got that right equally as well. So what I mean by that, as long as you are having those small conversations in bits and pieces, as long as you're having those conversations in strengths and take it way ahead, that's where you connect and you understand the behavior of your employee. And these critical coaching conversation plays equally a very strong role in the environment, because these conversations will bring those high level of engagement, those high level of next level of action and momentum for the employee equally as well. So you have to make very sure that when it comes to such sort of conversation, it has to be a deep learning conversation and deep dive conversations, irrespective of situation, irrespective of moments, incidents, whatever is happening on the business ground. Guess what? The whole concept is it's always the behavior which drives the number and not the number which drives the behavior. Yeah. So when you do that on a very subtle note, and when you do it experientially right, that's where it makes the difference. So I hope this video has given enough food for thought, and it has been a very strong takeaway in terms of addressing the right challenges in your environment when it comes to performance of your employees. And this becomes your core asset when it comes to the fortune without fear. Because guess what? When your employee stands far better in your operational handling, be it is with your vendor management, be it is with your stakeholders, is it with your customers, then you as a business owner stand simply relax and set back off, right? I mean, you don't have to get into those nitty-gritties of operations, because you know very sure that the fortune is without fear, which is your employee, and they are the best one with the right capabilities in terms of knowledge, the right skills, and the attitude equally as well, which you have primarily invested your golden time with them in the initial phase of 6 months to 1 year. Yeah. So comment strong below and reply back to this email equally as well. I would definitely like to understand your takeaway inputs and actions on this as well. And how do you take on the journey and how, in terms of implementing the same in your environment equally as well. With that, I come to the end of this video equally as well. And make sure that you download the link which has been shared. And yes, just to ensure that it has to be, keep the journey on and ensure that you are there in all my channels and pages, and subscribe to it as well, so that you don't miss on any of the updates way forward equally as well. Do open all my emails. That will help you to get at a very strong momentum to get all the business insight to address your immediate core business problem, because you don't know in which email you have the answers ready for you. Yeah. Till then, Avid, they said signing off as of now. Look forward for the next email and the burning journey, and I mean to address your business and to take it to the next level equally as well. Avid signing off. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Take care.